Welcome back, Story Hour friends. We're so glad you're back this week for our next stop on our virtual trip around the world. This week, our friend Emmy is going to show us how to make a wombat puppet. And then we'll hear a fantastic story called Wombat Stew by Marcia Vaughan. Thank you to Barb Wright and her wonderful grandkids for sharing this book with us, because this story will be transporting us across the world all the way to Australia. And you can head over to one of our Town of Porter libraries to pick up some of your favorite wombat writings, kookaburra copies, or marsupial manuscripts, and get your story hour in a bag for this week with things you can use to make your own wombat puppet. Enjoy, and good day, mates.
Hello, fellow Story Hour friends. So today we are going to make a wombat puppet. So we're going to take this paper bag in these two pieces, and we're going to make them a puppet and then color them in, use the glue.
So you can make your wombat the usual color, but I'm going to make mine rainbow. You can use whatever colors you want. The colors of the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. I think I'm gonna name my wombat Rainbow, the wombat. It's okay if your coloring isn't the best. Just have fun and express yourself. Pink is my favorite color. What is your favorite color? Can't wait for my puppet to be done so I can do the skit for you guys. Now, when you're all done coloring, it's time to make him a puppet. Before you glue, make sure your paper bag is facing this direction with a fold on top. Glue the wombat's head to the top of the rectangle on the bag. Glue his body to the bottom of the bag. And here he is.
What do you guys think of my puppet? Do you like it? He's very colorful. I love him. Hey! Who said that? Ah! Me, your puppet. What? Yeah. Oh my gosh. Did you come to life? Yeah. That's crazy. Well, anyway, Rainbow, can you read us some facts about wombats? Sure. Is this what I'm supposed to read? Yes, that is what you're supposed to read. Okay. Let's see. Wombats are the strangest looking animals you will ever see. Hey, we're not strange, we're unique. Native to Australia, these funny animals look like short, stocky bears. But wombats are really marsupials. Like their cousins the koala and the kangaroo, they have a pouch where their babies grow and stay warm for 10 months. Adult wombats will grow to about 3 feet long and weigh about 40 40 to 80 pounds. Mommy, what? The sturdy wombat is most active during the early evening and at night. They spend most of their time grazing, eating grass, roots, shoots, and even tree bark. With a full belly, a wombat will go underground tunnel. Their large claws make them terrific diggers, and a special sleeping room. Sleep well, friend wombat. And we'll see you later. Oh, and we should hear a story from Grandma Rug soon. We'll see you later. Bye! Bye!
One day, on the banks of a billabong, a very clever dingo caught a wombat and decided to make wombat stew, gooey brewy, yummy chewy wombat stew. Platypus came ambling up the bank. "Good day, Dingo," he said, snapping his bill. "What is all that water for?" "I'm brewing up a gooey chewy stew with that fat wombat," replied Dingo with a toothy grin. "If you ask me," said Platypus, "the best thing for a gooey stew is mud. Big blops of billabong mud." "Blops of mud?" Dingo laughed. "What a good idea!" "Right-ho, in they go." So Platypus scooped up big blobs of mud with his tail and tipped them into the billy can. Around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, "Wombat stew, gooey brewy, yummy chewy wombat stew." Waltzing out from the shade of the ironbarks came Emu. She arched her graceful neck over the brew. "Oh ho, Dingo," she fluttered, "what have we here?" "Gooey chewy wombat stew," boasted Dingo. "If only it were a bit more chewy," she sighed. "But don't worry, a few feathers will set it right." "Feathers?" Dingo smiled. "That would be chewy." "Right-ho, in they go." So into the gooey brew, Emu dropped her finest feathers. Around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew." Old Blue Tongue the lizard came sliding off his sun-soaked stone. "Silly Dingo," he hissed, "there are no flies in this stew. Can't be wombat stew without crunchy flies in it." And he stuck out his bright blue tongue. "There's a lot to be said for flies," agreed Dingo, rubbing his paws together. "Right-o, in they go." So Lizard snapped 100 flies from the air with his long tongue and flipped them into the gooey, chewy stew. Around and around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew." Up through the red dust popped Echidna. "Wait a bit, not so fast," he bristled, shaking the red dust from his quills. "Now I've been listening to all this advice, and take it from me, for a munchy stew you need slugs and bugs and creepy crawlies." Dingo wagged his tail. "Why, I should have thought of that. Right-o, in they go." So Echidna dug up all sorts of creepy crawlies and dropped them into the gooey, chewy, crunchy stew. The very clever Dingo stirred and stirred, all the while singing, wombat stew, hot and spicy, oh so nicey, wombat stew." Just then the sleepy-eyed koala climbed down the scribbly gum tree. "Look here," he yawned, "any bush cook knows you can't make a spicy stew without gum nuts." "Leave it to a koala to think of gum nuts." Dingo laughed and licked his whiskers. "Right-o, in they go." And into the gooey, chewy, crunchy, munchy stew. Koala shook lots and lots of gum knots. Aha, cried Dingo. Now my stew is missing only one thing. What's that? Asked the animals. That fat wombat. Wait, stop. Hang on, Dingo. You can't put that wombat into the stew yet. Why not? You haven't tasted it. Right-ho, I'll taste it. And that very clever Dingo bent over the billy and took a great big slurp of stew. Arr! I'm poisoned, he howled. You've all tricked me. And he dashed away, deep into the bush, never again to sing. Wombat stew, gooey, brewy, yummy, chewy, wombat stew. And that's the end.